Hey folks, welcome back. So Forever 89 just released Visco 2.0 yesterday, and I made a video about Visco almost a year ago. It's some kind of drum sampler with a twist, because we have in the middle here some kind of visual plop that you can use to tweak and twist and turn the sound to your liking. And what I do sometimes with the sampler here, I just use a sound, for instance here the snare, and I just take my shitty snare and put in a very nice snare from maybe a sample pack or whatever, and then you can morph between the two sounds. So let's say we have this sound here, or maybe I take here one of my snares. It's a pretty old samples here. Maybe something like this, right? And you put it in here, and then you can play it on the keyboard. Maybe something like this, and then you put another snare here on the right side. That's a huge snare. By the way, you can also select just some presets from here if you want to. So maybe let's use something like this. And then you can morph between the two. And sometimes you can just settle with something in between. So you have a shitty snare and you have a good snare, and then you settle with something in between. Or you maybe have some kind of classic drum loop with a snare in there, and you want to synthesize a new snare to it. But you want to have it in the same kind of sound, right? You want to get close to the sound of the original classic snare, and you can use this sometimes here to make this happen. So that's how I use the sampler sometimes. I didn't use actually all the features here, I just used the transformation features of this one. There's also a sequencer in here, of course, modulation matrix, and mix output here with some FX. But now in 2.0 they actually added here some kind of tonal thing which turns this into a synthesizer, and you can then use here these slots, and you say slot 1, turn this into a synthesizer, right? And then you can play it on the keyboard. This makes no sense because it's a drum sample here, so we need to create some sound, or maybe select something from here. I think you can also select something here from the tonal presets if you want to, but I don't want to do that. I want to sample my own shit. So I'm using here my preset, Triton keyboards preset, which gives you basically a random Triton keyboard preset every time you press a key. I sometimes use this for creating pad sounds because I just need something with overtones, and I put it into a granular sampler and, you know, get nice pads out of it. It's exactly what I want to do in this case here also. So I'm using here the rolling sampler. I just play one key. Let's say this one. And what I like here with Visco is that you actually don't need to figure out the root key. It's always in the right key for some reason. You just drag some random sample in there, and you can play it on the keyboard. It's always the right note. All right, I need to switch this. I have actually no idea how this works internally. Maybe they split this up into different sign bins. I have no idea. I guess here when you turn up the density here, this one, actually what it does, it reduces or increases the sign partials that are used to replay the sound, I guess. So now we have the sound here in slot 1, but we can also put something in slot 2. So maybe use here a different sound. Or maybe play a different key. Maybe something like this. Very basic. Put this in there. Or maybe like this. So we can play it. Now we can morph between sound 1 and sound 2. So it's a spectral kind of static morph. I know there are some VST, some audio effects that you can use to morph between different sounds live. I think Synaptic has something like called Morph 2 or something. It works probably in the same way, but this one here is offline. It, you know, it doesn't uses that much resources, and you can play it like a new sound here with like a synthesizer. So now we can start and change the sound here with the plop in the middle. Something like this. Also interesting here, there's this S thing on the right side, so we can change here the key tracking to 100% and the sustain position. So this S here is basically where it stops when you hold the key on the keyboard, right? And then you can change it while you're holding it, but only in one direction for some reason. So if you go back, it doesn't work. It's only going in one direction for some reason. But with this you can create nice kind of long pads or drones or whatever. So we also use here on the right side polyphony. So we pull this up so we can now play multiple keys at the same time. Maybe we change this here a bit. So this is really nice to create some pad sounds here. So I need a reverb, of course. See. Actually, maybe increase this here, 150. Maybe increase the time scale here. You can also change the time scale only for this slot here. This is basically the global transformation. So there is some kind of modulation in here that you can use LFOs, and I think you can also use here a noise, pink noise, brown noise, and so on. So there are some options there, but I never actually use this. I always prefer the Bitwig modulators for this. I can just dial it in because I know the modulators, how they work and what they can do and so on. So I'm using here, what's this, track 1 transform. Modulate this to slowly go from one sound to the other. Maybe a bit slower. You can also change the density. Let's go down and then just duplicate this. And change the density. Nice. You can also change the contrast, which removes some harmonics or adds. Yeah, let's duplicate this. So for me, This is just a free update. Of course, I have this here for almost a year, and I use it off and on for certain things, like I said, for morphing between different sounds, sometimes creating new sounds. But this is actually nice to have here to create also some pad sounds from random samples. And it's very easy to use because you don't need to define the root key. You just drag in whatever you find on your hard drive and it's always in the right key. And you do something like this here where you morph between different sounds and you have something new. So it's actually a no-brainer for me because it doesn't cost any money. That's on the website here. I put the link in the description below, but I'm sure a lot of people actually bought this a year ago. So maybe just re-download and give it a try. I think this was some of my criticism in the first video I saw. I said this could be actually interesting to have it so you can play it on the keyboard, right? So you have like key tracking and so. I probably wasn't the only one with this idea. So there's also here some kind of oscillator, so you can say, or you can tell the application what it uses to play back these partials. I guess each partial then is a saw or is a square, or maybe this works like an vocoder in the background, so you define the overtones. So you say this is a saw right in the background, and then it uses all the overtones to play back actually the sample. I have no idea. There's also here something like Fibonacci and 7th minor chord. Oh, nice. It's actually much better for pad sounds, for drones. Let's switch to major chord. Yeah, this is really nice. So that's the update for Visco. It's completely free if you already own it. If you don't own it, I think it costs, what was the price? 99 bucks. So yeah, it's not super expensive. I think that's it for this video. I just want to show you this because it came out yesterday. I do more Bitwig videos in the coming days or coming weeks. I hope we also get an announcement for Bitwig 6 soonish. I don't know when, but it has to be, I don't know, in the next month. I have no idea. So yeah. So more Bitwig videos are coming. There are also some new plugins coming out in next days, next weeks, and I probably also try to cover them. That's it for this video. Please leave a like, leave a subscription, leave me a comment what you think about the new update, and I see you in the next video. Bye.